Good morning, guys, and welcome to this week's trance. As you know, over the past few months, we have done quite a few trances already, and we have worked on mainly two areas of our lives. We have worked on the mental side, the mindset side of things, where we work on aligning with the successes and the changes we want to have in our lives. There was the success alignment and having more confidence, and all these different topics. And then, of course, we focused on the physical side of things with the better sleep trance, the body healing trance. And these are two very, very important and strong components in our lives, of course. For me, there is one big component missing to make us complete, to make this whole work complete, and to help us, feel complete in who we are and what we want to do in our life. And that is, of course, not just the mind, body, but also the spirit side of things. I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We all know that famous quote. And the more we accept and the more we align with that school of thought, that we are more than that, just this shell, that we are part of all that is, the more we find an inner peace, a broadening horizon, the more we find answers within ourselves, the more we accelerate our growth. I find it is always when people enter a state of separation, which is happening more and more today in this world, where people separate from their true source, from who they truly are, and separate from that, from spirit, for the lack of a better word. Now, some people call this God, some people call it spirit, some people call it the divine. I used to call it all that is. Some might call it the universe. For me, it is an energy that is, in essence, it's love. It's an energy that is divine. Nowadays, I deliberately use the word God, but I'm not coming in any way from any religious background. I myself am not coming from any religious background, but God for me is really an energy that flows through every living being, and actually flows through any not living being for that matter as well. God, love, that energy is the essence of everything that we experience. I believe that that divine energy is within me, is within you, is within every animal, every plant, every stone, any crystal, anything you have around you. Now, I actually believe that God is within us, the divine is within us, and we, each one of us, is that divine, is spirit, is God. We are an expression of that spiritual energy, that divine energy. I'm very consciously choosing all these different words because I know, due to our programming and the filters through which we view the world, some people might get hung up on the word God or divine or spirit or all that is, and they begin to delete or shut out information that might be so important for them, simply because they might have had a bad experience with religion. Let it be the religion they grew up in, or religion that forces things on people that they don't like. Let it be with things that just picked up on the outside, or things they've experienced for themselves. But there's a very, very big difference between religion and accepting that spirit within you. And I believe there's a truth within all of us. And that truth might be different for each and every one of us. And yet, it is somehow the same. Because that truth connects all of us. I always see it as, if you imagine an ocean, and you have all those different waves, and each one of us is one of those different points on top of each wave, and we feel so separated on these waves, and we're like, well, I'm all alone here. I see the other wave there, and I see the other wave there, and all we feel is separation. And we don't realize that underneath that wave, we're all part of the same ocean. We're all a flame of the same fire. For me, that ocean picture has really opened my horizon big time when I heard that for the first time, and I teach that in my workshops, because it just shows that even someone looks different, feels different, behaves different. We are all coming from the same source, and we are all connected. And by judging someone else, by forcing someone else away. We are forcing a part of us away. That does not mean that we have to accept and stand for everything that everyone else believes. Absolutely not. I do believe the greater the separation someone feels from that source, the greater the pain, the greater their frustration, the greater their anger, and the greater the hatred. I believe if we would all be more in tune with who we truly are, with that connection, with that love energy, the more we would be aware of the fact that there's nothing that can be taken away from us, that there's nothing that we cannot have, because all is within us. We are it. We are all that is, and all that is within us. Same picture comes to mind, the picture of the ocean is, we all feel like we're a separated finger on the hand, but we're all part of the same hand. So how do I connect with that part of me? Of course, meditation is a great way to do that. A lot of reasons why we separate from that source energy is of course conditioned, is of course limiting beliefs, is of course filters that we have in front of our eyes, that we are trained to believe, that we are conditioned to believe, and therefore we are uncomfortable with certain concepts. We're uncomfortable with the concept that we might be able to be much more than we are. A lot of people are very uncomfortable with the concept of being magnificent. And when I look at you, when I look at anybody out there, all I see is magnificence in the first place. I see their light. I see their potential. I see how beautiful and special they are. No matter how far down they push that, no matter how far they closed up they are, or how open they are. I guess that has always been my talent also to do this job. So I can see past people's stories. I can see, as I say, that magnificence. And some of you I have met personally, so I can say I see that magnificence and that divine spark within you. Some of you I haven't met personally, but I can guarantee you that you have that within you. So what we're doing today in this trance is reconnect you with that true sense of self. Reconnect you with that spirit self, and realign you with source. That's all it is. Realign you with all you truly are. In this trance, we're not going to use suggestions. It is going to be more of a guided journey. It is still going to be a deep trance, but it's more of a trance meditation, where we will release a lot of the old hurt and anger and frustration and fears that might hold us back from actually accepting the divine within us, and accepting that we are much more than we are, and accepting that we're all part of something bigger. So releasing the blocks and the shackles and the limitations, and at the same time we are connecting to that light that some of us think is still outside of us, and some already know or have experienced how much that is inside of us. So we are releasing and reconnecting who we truly are, releasing the old and fake image that we might hold of ourselves, and connecting to that true flame within us, and connecting to the source of the ocean, for the lack of a better word. I hope you enjoy this journey. I find this work immensely important, and this trance work that we have been doing wouldn't be complete without addressing this part of the triangle, the body, the mind of the soul. And in this journey, we are going to nourish your soul.